Welcome again to Lakeshore Focus, a weekly show highlighting the key issues, events, and people in our region. I'm Keith Kirkpatrick. The United Way is involved in countless initiatives to better our region and communities. One of these initiatives, making an impact throughout the area, is fondly known as Northwest Indiana Gives. Here with us today to tell us what we're giving and why it matters are two individuals who are highly involved and dedicated to the campaign. Jeremy Miller, who is the Chief Operating Officer for the Lake Area United Way, and Jared Tomich, who is the founder and executive director for Halo of Hope. Glad to have both you guys on here.
Thanks for having us, Keith.
And I'm going to focus, first of all, a little bit about who you both are personally. And since this show is more of just a talk show about issues going on, I've never had this opportunity to say, so how do you feel after the big game? And people are going to go, why do you ask that question?
Oh, yeah.
So why did I ask you that question?
Because I was fortunate enough to play in the NFL. I had a career of about 7 years and absolutely loved it. Was a Lake Central kid and was a walk-on at University of Nebraska, and just had a great career and ended up down in New Orleans in the beginning with Coach Ditka and then after I was done with that career, just came right back home actually after all the places that I was.
You're one of the examples I love to point out of our brain regain.
Mm-hmm.
We got
Absolutely.
a local boy who came back home. Why'd you come back to Northwest Indiana?
Lots of reasons. Family, we had family here, but the biggest thing is just all the places that I lived and all the places I played. This is a great area. You have the city, just 30 minutes away. You can be in the middle of cornfields and in a matter of minutes as well, and it's just a growing area. And so for me, it was easy, and I was gone for well over 10 years, and it was a really easy decision for me to come back.
And it's a good place to find a good woman to marry
Yes.
and start a family, right?
Absolutely. Yep, that was a key as well. And so with my wife and our 3-year-old boy now, it's been great.
So I scored points with Mick, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. Jeremy, you've just made a career switch too. You were in banking for how long?
Over 12 years. I had the privilege of working for Centaur Bank for over 12 years, and just recently took a huge transition and came on board at Lake Area United Way, so I was quite excited about that. I'd volunteered with them for a number of years and had known both the staff and all the agencies and their mission and values and what they do for a long period of time. So it was kind of a unique transition and just a great opportunity for me. And I miss my banking friends, but I'm excited about the nonprofit world.
So what did you used to do at Centaur Bank?
I was a regional VP for them, so I had 12 of their Lake County branches that reported to me and managed their day-to-day functions and operations.
So you were an important guy at the bank.
You could say that.
So did the whole crew cry when you left?
There a couple people shed some tears, but who knows? Maybe some people had a couple of parties. So
Maybe those directly working for you.
Yes.
You never know.
Yeah.
So why did you make that switch?
Looking for a completely different career change. I knew that if I was ever going to leave banking, I didn't want to work for another bank because I truly believe that I did work for the best bank in the area. I know a lot of people say that out there, but I really honestly felt that. But just trying to look for something different and personally trying to make a difference. It's real easy to get into the nonprofit world and be motivated on a daily basis because you truly do make a difference in everyone's lives and more important, the less fortunate. So from that mindset, it was kind of a natural fit for me. And then being obviously involved in it, it was an opportunity presented itself and I took advantage of it and I've been thankful since November 1st.
I think it's really good to talk about these things because we live in a world today that people go through multiple careers and make that kind of dramatic switch from professional athletics to, you're doing some similar kind of things, but now you're a business owner. And in fact, I should ask you, Jared, tell us, you've jumped into what here?
Sure.
A whole bunch of things.
Yeah, I came back home and got into small business and started off in the restaurant industry and then have grown into the health club industry, which is more my natural fit and more of what I did, my whole career from college to football is health and wellness and nutrition and sports, performance. So for me to be in the health club industry is where it's what I enjoy. It's what I really have a passion for, and in the same sense, that's something that you're involved with people every day, you're helping people every day, and trying to make differences, in a business and in people's lives. It's a lot of fun.
It's different than playing football, isn't it?
Oh, it's a completely different world, completely.
So what restaurants do you own?
Just Zuni's restaurant.
Okay.
So, yep.
So
And,
is the food healthy there? So we're
It's
trying to tell me?
pizza and pasta, so I cannot say that it is the most, but
So you're working to feed both businesses. You
Right.
get people to come in there and eat,
job security for
fill
the
up on the
other.
carbs, and then they need to work out.
Yep.
I get it. Now, the United Way, you're at the Lake Area United Way. We
Correct.
probably need to explain this maybe to everybody. There's a United Way in
Yeah.
every county, right?
Correct. Across
Okay.
the entire state.
So up in this region, we've got Lake Area United Way. What else?
Porter County, which is headed by Sharon Kish. And then we have LaPorte County United Way, which is headed by Chris Pate. So, and of course, our president, Lou Martinez, who oversees Lake Area United Way.
Okay, you scored points with Lou, right? Okay.
Throw that in there.
So this campaign that we're going to talk about in a minute is something that all the United Ways are doing, correct?
Correct. And specifically in partnership with the Legacy Foundation. So how this initiative came to fruition, so to speak.
Explain what the Legacy Foundation is in case people might not know.
Legacy Foundation is a Lake County-based community foundation,
Okay.
if you will. Very similar to United Ways, except it just operates as its own individual umbrella, based here in Maryville. It's just another nonprofit, but it's a community foundation versus a nonprofit like a national United Way that carries the United Way brand or name.
Back when I was on the Porter County Community Foundation board, I used to say that we would often describe the difference between the United Way and the Community Foundation as kind of the checking account and the savings account. And it's not quite that clean, but it's one way to look at it. Is that still a fairly decent description?
Sure, you could use that analogy.
Because the United Way, the money comes in, pretty much goes out pretty
Correct.
darn quick.
We still fund our agencies, and we're gearing towards a shift in funding more initiative-based activities under our pillars of income, education, and health. So we're driving that direction, but our agencies are still our core mission. We still do funnel all those campaign dollars directly back to the agencies.
Right. So Jared, why are you involved with the United Way? What's the point of that for you?
Well, I mean, I've done just been helpful in different events and different things through the years with whether it's United Way or Boys and Girls Club, and I have my own foundation as well. But so I was asked to be on the steering committee from the Legacy Foundation. I've worked at the Legacy Foundation for a few years now, and just doing different things with them locally for different, whether it's speaking engagements and focusing on different, even like the brain drain seminar that I did with them and things like that, with getting kids to stay more in our area. So the Legacy Foundation really kind of pulled me in and asked me to be a part of that, and we started a little over a year ago with getting this NWI Gives idea rolling. So I've been able to, it's been a lot of fun too to really kind of see this grow from the first meeting of just here's an idea that we have to now, getting to the point where we're almost ready to unveil it and roll with it with the day.
So you had to get back, and you were involved back when Harry Vandevelde was more
Yes.
involved. So it was like two jocks hanging out together. Is that kind of
It
what
was,
it was?
yeah, it was.
Because Harry had a career playing basketball
Yeah,
too.
very good career. So he and he's moved on, but yeah, we had a lot of fun, in talking with him quite a bit, and very motivating individual.
So what is the halo of hope? And you've got the logo right there on
Sure.
you, which is kind of a cool logo. I wonder who designed that for you.
Yeah, my wife, and but the Halo Hope Foundation is a foundation that we started about 8 years ago. Myself and a couple other ex-NFL athletes. We started it doing a children's cancer camp up in Wausau, Wisconsin. Myself and Jerry Wunsch, who played for Tampa for about 10 years. And the idea was just to get kids out of the hospital, bring them up there for a week, hang out, and really just kind of have fun. And there's no parents that are allowed, so it's just the kids with other kids. And we work with about 13 hospitals nationally now. So when we have 3, 4, 5 kids from each hospital, they get the chance to meet kids from other places. They talk about very adult things that they get to talk about with other kids. They self-mentor one another. And then for us, and we have nurses, we have doctors, we have a whole, we're very responsible people. For myself and for Jerry, our job is just to make sure everybody's having fun. So it started with that when we only started with a couple of hospitals, and now every year we're kind of growing and putting on a couple more hospitals. And that's how the foundation started. And then locally, once people started finding out that I had a foundation that just helped with kids with cancer, we've then kind of branched off into helping local families in Northwest Indiana and in Chicago that any way we can with working with the hospital.
So Jeremy, how does the Halo of Hope Foundation, a national organization and doing the scope of what you do, relate to a local United Way? What's that relationship?
The relationship is really twofold. First, just to back up and just to make sure we're on the same wavelength here, the Northwest Indiana Gives initiative is funded by and supported by Legacy and Lake Area NWI. We're the two sponsoring nonprofits that put the dollars on the table through some grants that we had to get this project initiated. And then the steering committee is made up of a vast group of people, including Sharon Kish, Chris Pate, and others from other nonprofits, as well as Jared and some others that have come together to kind of get the ball rolling. Chris Falzone's been the project coordinator for us to keep the initiative moving. And I want to publicize the big day is coming up. It's February 14th, which is...
Isn't that Valentine's Day?
I don't know. That's
I think it is.
You're going to get us all three in trouble.
I was going to say, we better find out. It's Valentine's Day. I think
it is a Wednesday. It was 5 weeks from yesterday, or 5 weeks, about 5 weeks now. But so how Halo of Hope goes back, ties into all that, is they will be one of the nonprofits out there under Northwest Indiana Gives, which is a complete online giving platform with marketing tools. So Halo of Hope they created their own marketing page directly through nwigives.razoo.com, and that's kind of it's almost a turnkey approach to online giving for one day, from a nonprofit that makes $100 a year to a nonprofit that has revenues of whatever amount you want to use.
So on one day, there's going to be a big promotion, and on February 14th, which we all think might be Valentine's Day,
Right.
and we're going to find out.
Right.
People will go online to, is it one specific website?
Correct. It's in the key thing to remember here, Keith, is it's http://nwigives.razoo.com. And then from there, you can do a search, and that's the master webpage, if you will. So if you type in Halo in the search, Jared's Foundation is going to come up,
Okay.
and his page will come up. And there's links to videos that tells the story of Halo of Hope. There'll probably be some videos, and then there's a donate button on there. And all kinds of media kits around there. The master page for all our nonprofits has toolkits, so they learn how to promote this event via social media through their own Facebook and Twitter accounts. We also have our own, for just Northwest Indiana Gives, we have a Facebook page already created that's out there, and then you can also tweet us at NWI Gives.
So I bet if you put NWI Gives in Google search, it's probably going to get you there pretty quickly. So that day, anybody can, once they find that site, can make a donation in these three counties, right?
Correct.
And then they can designate to your organization or to any organization.
Right, to any organization they choose. That's what's unique about this Give Day. Is it's first, there have been other Give Days both locally and nationally. This is not the first time this has been attempted. But for the three-county initiative to finally think regionally in the nonprofit world and to tie this all together, that's the kind of the major umbrella that we're working with. And then it can be drilled down to anybody. You can go on, for example, you can go on and donate to Halo of Hope that day and make a small $10 donation or a $1,000 donation.
Do they have to be on a list or something?
Correct. They have come
Okay.
to us, and there are certain criteria. It's zip code driven, so they have to be in the three
Okay.
counties. They have to have an EIN number, so we're not doing any like personal, like if you want to support someone that's not using an EIN number, it's a way to legitimize the nonprofit.
I'm going to ask you one of these questions. You say, I hope he doesn't ask me this, but what if somebody does call the United Way and say, I want to give to, and I'm going to be bizarre here, okay? I'm no fan by any means of the Ku Klux Klan, but if somebody says, I want to give money to the Ku Klux Klan, I mean, what's the United Way answer to that? First of all, they're not an agency, right?
Correct. They're not a member agency, and we always have a very neutral stance on any type of derogatory issues or anything that's flamboyant. On situations like that where it's obviously a very sensitive topic, we would probably turn that type of donation away. But if you were to ask me, what if I want to give to ABC Umbrella or whatever it is, we certainly are operating with the context of we want to be able to help as many nonprofits as possible, but it has to be a legit and caring and do good for the local.
I like that criteria. We got to be doing some sort of good. So what do you expect? Will you then be participating? Why did you again get involved in this specific endeavor?
And we used the model of Minnesota. Minnesota did this Minnesota Gives a Day, and they've been doing this for a few years now. So that was what we kind of looked at, and it's grown every year.
So you're saying this was your idea? Or
No,
you stole the
absolutely
idea?
not. Yeah, no, the idea was completely stolen. And so in looking at what they do and how it's grown every year, and it really, after a few years, it gets a lot of people involved. And I think it gets a lot of people involved that might not be involved in foundations or organizations otherwise. Because it is a very easy platform to use, and it's a very easy process. And the fact that you've got like for us and a small foundation like what we have, to be in the same be and on the same page with the United Way and with the Legacy Foundation, it brings a lot of credibility to someone like us, and it really gets us in front of a lot of folks that we normally probably wouldn't be able to have that opportunity to get in front of. So for somebody like for us and the other smaller foundations, it's a great vehicle, and without having to really and they're doing a lot. Basically, they're doing a lot of it for us.
The whole marketing side.
Yeah, so it's really a big.
But let's talk about giving just a little bit, because we've got all these nonprofits out there, all these organizations trying to do good. And you hear everybody saying, man, it is just so hard to get people to give money. I mean, is it that tough? I mean, just get people to give money? I mean, are you finding it tough to give?
Oh yeah, and I from my level, absolutely. In United Way, it's just a huge credibility. And everybody knows who they are. But for like my foundation, it costs us, even for a camper, it costs about $2,000 per camper. So for us to be able to go out and I do in a lot of what we do is golf tournaments and different and Halloween events and things like events to try to raise the money. So it's a very tough. And over the past few years, since I started the foundation until now, it's gotten a lot tougher.
Why is it tougher to get people to give money? I know a lot of people quickly go, oh, it's a recession. We've experienced a downturn in the economy for the past few years. But it's been this way, trending for a long time, that people are giving less, or it's harder to get people to give money. Is that true?
I think that's true to some degree. I think the key there is, you could blame it on the recession, the economy, but I also think that people want to see some results. And if you see some results and you make good in the community and do some good things, you're going to continue to receive those dollars. And that's what separates the successful nonprofits from the ones who tinker away. You often read about nonprofits that start with great ideas, but they just don't control their own funding sources and cannot develop internally and externally, and then they fade away. So I don't want to say it's a strong survive, but I think it's easier to attract donors if they know that you're going to do good out there in the community.
Do you feel sometimes, for either one of you, that people are afraid to give money, or not afraid, but are hesitant to give money because, like, I'm being asked by so many people, it's just easy to go no to everybody, or I can't make a decision, so I'm just not going to give anybody any money?
Oh, absolutely.
You think, well, how do we get past that with people?
I think the big thing is how we market and communicate that message that we're out there doing some wonderful things. Jared's Foundation sending kids that have cancer to camps. United Way, the things we do for the women's battered shelters, or the homeless, or feeding the hungry, or through the food bank, or Meals on Wheels. It's a messaging thing, Keith, and I think that's probably a great takeaway for Northwest Indiana Gives, is we're all coming together for one day to really make that sound message that together we can make a difference. And the key point is that no donation's too small. You can go $25, you can go $25,000. And there's a couple of opportunities that we're going to have. Centier Bank has come on board as a corporate sponsorship, and they'll have 5 golden tickets worth $1,000 each.
This sounds like Willy Wonka.
It's kind of that same concept. So here's the unique thing. At some time, unanimously through the 24-hour period, if you make a $10 donation to one of the nonprofits listed, there's an opportunity for that to actually be $1,000 plus your $10. So we'll have some random person is going to go out there and make a donation and really have given $1,000 more than they intended to. So that's part of it. NIPSO's come on board with another $5,000, and we're going to use that fund to, in essence, help those in three categories of our nonprofits. You have small, medium, and large. So whoever raised the most dollars will be awarded, and then the most donors. So we're going to work both ways of the fence, so to speak, to reward those.
A very, very neat incentive. That's for sure.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And there's actually one more. I just got the information shortly before coming on. The Knight Foundation stepped up with another $35,000. We have Lakeshore that's donated some in-kind media support, as well as our friends at the time. So all of our corporate partners in the region have come together to make this a success, and we're really excited about it.
Jared, we're down to the last couple minutes here.
Sure.
Why do you, I mean, you got several businesses to run. Why do you take the time to mess with a halo of hope?
When you have that opportunity to be part of something bigger than yourself, it's always extremely rewarding. I've had a very fortunate career, and so I have the opportunity to walk into a hospital and walk up to a child in a bed and just start talking to them, put a smile on their face because of what I did before. Because I played football, they have an interest automatically. So to have that, to be able to do that, has always been a really big deal for me, and I've tried to really use that and really help, as many as I can in that sense. So, for me, it's always been about team. It's always what I've always done. So it just goes back to being
making that contribution.
Yeah.
We're down to the last few seconds. So why do you do what you do?
For me, it used to be about checkings accounts and CDs and savings accounts and people and tellers. And now it's about simply helping the less fortunate. And there's nothing more rewarding or more motivating to get up every day and to know, like Jared puts a kid that has cancer through a camp, I can wake up every day and help the homeless or the needy. It's just rewarding.
I appreciate everything you guys do, and I'll encourage people to reach out to the United Ways and get more detail and look for this program when it comes up on February 14th.
Right around the corner.
All right. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Keith.
Most religious teachings tell us that we should help others. Additionally, we are taught to take these actions without expectation of reward. In fact, we're instructed to be a servant to others, do it anonymously, and act in a selfless manner. Even in the secular world, we're encouraged to show love, be caring, and treat others fairly. We are to do just because it is the right thing. Yet, it's so easy to succumb to the appeal of doing it because it feels good. We're drawn to actions because it makes someone smile, we receive a thank you, or we get a hug. We love to know how our actions change someone's life for the better or created a positive outcome in a specific person. Marketing people, volunteer coordinators, and fundraisers know how these appeals work, and they use these approaches to get us to give our time, talents, and treasures. I'm not attacking these techniques because they work and many people need that push. Some folks do not understand the religious philosophies, adhere to a higher calling, or know what doing the right thing really means. Something in their life experience did not connect to those concepts. Therefore, they need some education and encouragement. Once they've experienced the joy of giving, they can then be more open to the idea of helping others due to a higher purpose. The trap to avoid is doing something just because you will receive an emotional benefit of some sort. I truly admire people who help others without ever meeting them, do it secretly, or ask that no one knows about what they did. Those people are unbelievable. I do want to make it clear that I think there is nothing wrong in receiving a reward for doing good. It may be God's way of giving us something we may need. We just have to be careful that we do not continue to do it because we want the reward. So I challenge you, get out there and help. There are so many problems in our world and so many people who are struggling, facing tough circumstances, or just have bad things happen to them. No matter what motivates your actions, just do it. Thanks for watching us today. What did you think of this show? Let us hear your thoughts by emailing your comments to focus@lakeshorepublicmedia.org or reach us through our website, which is listed on your screen. Join us next week for another Lakeshore Focus. I'm Keith Kirkpatrick saying, make a positive difference in our world today.